how to put together our pizza kits. A lot of you purchase our pizza kits either at the market or on our online site, and I want to show you how to put them together. I thought this would be a better idea than just giving you a piece of paper. It's easier to watch somebody do it. So the kit, when you pick it up, it comes with some dough in a bag. It comes with your choice of marinara or Alfredo sauce. This is obviously the marinara. And it comes with a box like this, and inside the box you usually have cheese, pepperoni, sometimes we put bacon. There could be lots of different toppings in there. This is going to be just cheese, so we just have cheese in ours. It's going to be a cheese pizza. So this is the kit. This is what you get. I just wanted to show you what to do with the kit once you get it home. First, your oven needs to be on 450. It needs to be really, really hot for a pizza. So set the oven on 450 and let that sit for about 10 minutes to come up to temperature. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our dough. The dough needs to be room temperature. So when you get this kit home, leave the dough sitting out. Leave it in the bag. You see how some air has formed in this bag? That's good. That means it's been rising. So leave it out on the counter. Have it ready for you when you're ready to roll it out. Now this particular dough will make 2 smaller pizzas, like say 10-inch pizzas, or 1 large pizza. It's a little sticky, which that's a good thing. So what we want to do is we want to get some flour on your hands and a little bit of flour on your surface that you're working on. Now, I'm working on a cutting board here, but you could be working on your countertop. So make sure that you have just a light dusting of flour on your hands and on the dough. Don't put too much. You'll mess up the dough if you put too much flour. So it still needs to be slightly sticky. So we're going to take it. I'm going to make 1 big one, but if you wanted, you could cut this in half and roll it into 2 smaller pizzas. So with your rolling pin, make sure we flour that also. We're going to start to roll the dough. And you can make this as thick or as thin as you would like to make it. I tend to like it a little thinner, and also the dough will go a lot farther if it's thinner. So I like to roll it out thin. And actually here, we have a machine that does that. We can send it through the sheeter machine. But since you don't have that at home, I'm going to show you how I would do it if I had it at home. So you just keep rolling the dough until you get it to the size that you want. Now I always recommend to everyone that you let the dough sit for about 5 minutes and kind of rise after you get it rolled out, because it's been sitting on the counter rising, and now you're taking all that air out of it because you're rolling it flat. So give it time to rest and let it sit on the counter and kind of rise just a little. You don't want to par cook this crust, and a lot of people ask me that. Don't par cook the crust. The crust is going to cook at the same time that your pizza cooks. So we're going to roll this to the thinness that you want. When you're rolling the dough, that you make sure that you keep a little flour underneath. You see how it's starting to stick to my surface? Make sure you keep a light dusting underneath when you're rolling so that it doesn't stick. Now, some of you might wonder why I'm not rolling it in the pan. You don't want to roll it in your actual pan. You want to roll it and then put it on the pan next. All right, once you get to this point, then you can stretch it with your hands if you'd like. So the way that that works is you use your knuckles, not your fingers. You pull and twist. And we don't want to showboat and throw it way in the air because we don't want to drop our pizza. So what that does, it thins out the center part, but we leave the edges a little bit thicker. So I have a regular just sheet pan. I figured most people would have a sheet pan at home. If you have a stone, that's even better, but this will work fine. I did line it with parchment. If you don't have parchment paper at home, you can put some olive oil down on the bottom, and we're gonna put our pizza on there. Now, my pizza is not round, and you know what? That's okay. It can be any shape that you want. Around Valentine's Day at the restaurant, we used to do heart-shaped pizzas, so pizza can be any shape you want. But the next thing that you have to do to the dough is the important part, and that is called docking. So we have this little contraption here that's called a docker, and I'm willing to bet that most of you probably don't have this at home. So what we would do with this is dock the center of the pizza. You want to imagine a crust around the edge, and don't dock that. but you want to roll this over and make just little tiny holes in that pizza. But if you don't have this at home, you could use one of these, and I bet you have one of these. So just a fork. It's just making light holes in the center of the pizza. And what that does is it keeps the center from bubbling up, because if you get a bubble in the center, then all your toppings run off the edge and sometimes into the oven. We don't want that. So make sure that you dock the center. We do want the edge to puff up, so don't dock the edge. All right, so we got our pizza rolled out, we docked it, then we have our sauce. I'm gonna take our sauce and we're gonna put it on our pizza. And it really doesn't take all the sauce that we give you, even if you like it really saucy, because I like it really saucy, but it doesn't take all of this sauce. So you can save this for something else. And you want to just spread it and leave an edge about 1 inch to 1.5 inches around the edge. That's your crust. You don't want to take the sauce all the way to the edge because it will burn and turn black, and we don't want that. So just spread this around. If you don't leave that edge, you won't have a crust without the sauce on it. All right, once you get that spread out, then we're ready for the cheese. Sprinkle the cheese on the top. You don't have to use all of it, but please feel free to. We give you plenty of cheese in the kits. And if you want to do extra cheese, I would put a little cheese down, and then I would put my pepperonis or whatever toppings you're putting, and then I would put the extra cheese on top. That's how we do it at the restaurants. All right, once this is done, you can add other things to this, like some chopped garlic or fresh tomatoes or anything you have at home. Make it your own. This is going to go in our oven that's 450. It's going to cook for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your oven temperature. And when it comes out, I'm going to show you what the finished product looks like. Our pizza is hot out the oven and it looks perfect. The cheese has melted. We got a little color on the top, a little color on the crust, not burnt. You want to make sure that you don't overcook it. And you see how we left that edge, so now you can see the perfect crust around our pizza. But what I want to show you next is if you saved a little pinch of that dough while you were rolling the dough out, instead of rolling it all, save a little pinch to set to the side. I'm going to show you what you can do with that. Set that back there. So remember we had a little bit of marinara left. Actually, we've got a good bit of marinara left. And I saved a little pinch of dough from that dough that I had before. And what we're going to do is we're going to make breadsticks. I'm going to show you how to make the breadsticks. So the same process. We're going to put this on a board or on your counter with a little bit of flour. We're going to roll it out. You want it thin, just like the pizza dough. Don't think about breadsticks you may have had at some restaurants. You don't want to roll it thick like that. That's an actual loaf of bread that you have to let rise. This is going to be a thin breadstick. So that's what we want to think about when we're making this. And they can be any shape and any length that you want. It doesn't matter. There's 2 different ways you can do it, and I'm going to show you both of them. So once you get this rolled out to the thickness that you want, then you're going to take your pizza cutter or your round cutter, or you could do it with just a regular knife if you don't have this. You're going to cut them into strips. And then you can either put them on a pan just like this. So once again, same thing, a pan lined with parchment or just with some olive oil. You can take the breadsticks and you can pull them and put them right on the pan, just like that. Or you can pull them and you can twist them. So you put them together and then twist them. And then that makes a different kind of breadstick. Bake these off for about 5 to 6 minutes in a 450 oven. You can brush the top of these with a little olive oil, and I think I'm going to do that before they cook, and then you can do it after they cook, and you want to sprinkle a little Parmesan cheese when they come out. So this will give them a nice golden color. While our breadsticks are cooking, we're going to do the edges of our pizza, and I want to show you what we usually do to that. Now you can do this with butter. You could even make a garlic butter. That would be kind of nice to put on the edge. But what we usually do at the restaurant, we would take the pizza. Once it comes out and it's really, really hot, you want to put a little oil around the edge, just a little extra. You can even drizzle oil over the top if you'd like. And then we would take a brush and we would brush that edge. Just makes the edge look nice, makes it really crisp. I'm actually gonna lift it up off this pan. And though it doesn't look like that pan's hot, but it actually is really hot. And your pizza's ready to cut and eat. Sprinkle with some Parmesan cheese and you're ready to go. Our breadsticks are out of the oven and you can see how puffy they got. That's why I told you it's not important to worry about leaving them thick when you roll them because they're gonna puff up. It's a great dough. Once they come out, we want to put a little olive oil on them while they're still hot. I'm gonna use a little brush to brush that in. And then we're gonna just sprinkle just a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And we're ready to enjoy those with our extra marinara sauce that we had left over. So if you're interested in any of our pizza kits, if you're interested in purchasing one or you want to know what they're all about, click the link below. I will link to the spot where we sell them online. And also you can pick them up at the Ocean Springs Market every Saturday from 9 to 12. See you soon.